Alright, I think I'm all set to go here. Finally. Started a little bit later than I was planning, but can only do so much about that. So my goal tonight is to finish off LFRs. And Pet Battle Dungeons, that was the other thing. Otherwise, I have to do Pet Battle Dungeons tonight, otherwise I'll probably forget about them later in the week. I'm gonna take gold. Can't go wrong with gold. Okay. I don't think there's too many LFRs left to do. Oh, Daily Heroic. Alright, fine. I'll do that too since it gets me a bag. Yeah, so I have 3 left to do. Oh, I missed the Thendra, but that's okay. Alright. So that's right, I've been still messing around with the nether antitoxin trinket as well. Very interested in testing it out in Mythic this weekend. I think I'm gonna wait to turn that in. I didn't know the items you got from that in stack, so I really don't want to fill up my bank with them. So I hope my chat is working. For some reason the background is in like day mode instead of night mode. Plus in chat. Oh yeah, okay. That's weird. Must be something to do with the net neutrality stuff. They must have only made a white background for the emote. Oh, that's right, it's time walking this week too, isn't it? That reminds me as well, someone in my guild is putting together Black Temple time walking in the afternoon on Saturday, so I might have an early stream. Assuming I wake up in time. It's a very patient group. Is this person in the tank? You tank things. You know what I didn't think of until now? Can I keep queuing? Oh, there's not a bag anymore. I could just do... Instead of doing LFRs every week, we could just do dungeons all day. Probably get more runes that way. Oh. Or tank PC. I wonder if he's coming back.
Feature presentation. Tonight, we meet two lovers born on opposite sides of Sentinel Hill. Divided by generations of enmity, they are brought together by passion for dance and violence. As the song of their love rumbles across the fields, will it end in triumph or tragedy? And now, on with the show!
Assuming he's coming down. Oh no, he didn't go the wrong way, did he? Oh yeah, here he comes.
Let's dance.
Yes.
I'm thinking of someone else. I'm just gonna play it cool. It's you and me against the world.
Hey, Drake Machine. Oh, wait. Someday I'm gonna get a 930 or 950, whatever the heck the max is now. Oh, which way is it? Doesn't matter to me. Oh no. Oh, okay, good. I thought I body pulled those.
individual. Of course, I'll need a sample of your brain tissue.
I don't believe the master is expecting.
It's kind of mean that it stunned me. It stunned me during innovate.
Served you.
Alright.
Enough of this weakness, boy! Contain your magic!
Now for the LFRs. I think I'm gonna DPS them all tonight. It was pretty painful healing them last night. Normally I finish all of them on Tuesday, but oh man, this went on forever. Is this what hosting this one? Nice. Okay. See what that quest is. Well, I believe that's a mythic box. Yeah. Oh, only heroic. I thought it was mythic last time. Oh, never mind. No, that's right. It would have been heroic, I guess, because mythic wasn't even out. And I was surprised that it was heroic because I hadn't killed any bosses in heroic yet. Let's see while we wait. I'll go out and get this key quest done. Do these two emissaries probably as well. 20 minutes, that's a long time.
One of our patrols has been trapped behind the stampede. We must bring them storm brew to restore their spirits. But how?
We need a victim, a volunteer, to go through a portal and thin the ranks of demons on the other side. Talk to Ted. He can provide a loner demon to
I
get
got
you
your
started.
back, Archdruid. Let me at him.
Do I have 50,000 yet? Nope. I don't. Need 50,000 nether shards for the toy from this guy that's in that cave.
Let me at him.
I don't think I really want to do anything else out here. Guess I should probably do world quest for this rep, but not tonight.
Let me at him.
Alright, so we need a couple of things in Azuna. We'll go try for an int trinket. And I guess we'll just kill this guy. Should be two quick ones. I just realized I haven't even done old mount runs yet this week. This week feels so slow on WoW. It's like there's nothing extra to do. Or at least I haven't done anything extra. I guess there's time walking this week, which reminds me I should probably do the quest. And thankfully, as long as I can get up early enough on Saturday, I don't have to worry about hugging a Black Temple. Any... It's not Raid Finder, right? No. It's not Dungeon Finder, right? No, okay, yeah, I thought you had to make a... So they're just no groups, or... Just looking at Legacy? Oh, okay, there they all are. Some of them, anyway. But hopefully my guild just gets through it.
Greetings. Go with honor.
Maybe we'll do time walking tonight as well. We'll see if we get a little more energy as the stream goes on. Hoping I guess maybe I'll save some stuff just in case the PTR isn't up tomorrow for some reason. Otherwise my plan is to hop on on Thursday and Friday and do the new content that's on there. I haven't heard if they ended the dungeon yet or not. I know last week they said it was supposed to be this week, but something could have gone wrong. Alright, at least it looks like it's a fresh one.
Defend their own palace from invasion, if it were up to me. Ah,
but I suppose we will reward our until then, I'll amuse myself by cleaning up their Never trust a mortal to do a demon's work. Feed my hunger, wretch.
Beware.
Feed my hunger, wretch.
Beware.
Destruction! Fester and die! Feed my hunger, wretch.
Beware.
Fester and die! Feed my hunger, wretch.
Beware.
Destruction! Pathetic! You're putting me to sleep. Here, let me return. chosen abandoned. You are inferior.
In the Third War, Tichondrius fell in battle against Illidan Stormreaver. I think the Demon Hunter's spirit is pleased that the Dreadlord has met another painful end.
Ah, I suppose wrong button.
Beware. Beware. Beware.
Knowledge is power. That was for Tyrion Fordring, monster. Grosus may not have struck the killing blow, but he played a part in our great champion's fall.
Oops, this guy's immune, is he?
I foresaw your coming, of course. The threads of fate that led you to this place. your desperate attempt to stop the Legion. My people faced a similar dilemma.
Okay. Oh, that's right. We had the RP.
All possible futures in search of an answer. And we found only one. The Legion's victory is inevitable. Every time stream shows it to be so. Had we resisted, they would have taken the Nightwell by force and left us bereft of it. I could not allow my people to starve, to waste away without its energy sustaining us. So a bargain was struck. Now I see a future where the Legion is victorious and my people endure. This is the thread that must be preserved. I will do everything in my power to make it so. Your deaths ensure the future of the Nightborn. Come forward, then. Let us speed you towards your fate. Your timelines end here.
Beware. Beware.
Oh, that was weird. She put it behind me. Probably my least favorite thing about this fight is the teleporting.
Time. Rush over you. Rush over you. You exist in but a single moment. I am far less limited.
Beware. Beware.
You'll find time can be quite volatile.
Beware.
Time can be quite volatile.
I probably shouldn't use my cooldown yet. Yeah, I have a ton of time left. That's when this stage ends. Oops.
Time shifts again, and your doom draws near.
I can say this. Oh wow.
Beware.
Beware.
Possible. I was.
Oh, is it? Oh, it is in progress. Oh. Let's go down. Oh, there's someone left. I don't even have determination stack.
Let this temple become your tomb. Feel the clutch of doom.
Oh, that was really close. But I don't even know what that was. Was it one of those zip ants? Or they save my CD from the boss comes out. Oh, interesting. I didn't know there was eventually more ads that come out if the fight goes on too long. Was there always 3? I don't think there was. I'll just be going crazy, I guess. Alright, I guess cool down now. Oh no. So what happens when we kill her and the distal host isn't out? Oh, you just win?
These tears of
Okay.
perfect beauty embody the dream of what our world could be. Today, they purify your hearts for the battle to come.
Hurry. Technically needed it for transplant, but probably won't be the last time we do it. So the purple one, that's LFR? Oh, is that gonna cancel it?
I've got your back,
Oh, no,
Mushroom.
Where was I find you? Oh, that's right, the trinket. Do you talk to someone? Does it just happen? Oh, I see, in the middle. It's just happened. Maybe. Ow. Alright, don't walk into the middle too early. Whoops. I had no idea that happened. Oh, I thought I'd move for the boss there.
Upon you. Destruction. Burn the fires of my torment.
Is there like a damage boost in the old LFRs? Why is it something my DPS always goes down in here? Oops, I didn't even see that.
Destruction! Burn the fires of my torment! Power you to dust! Another foe fell. Destruction! Burn the fires of my torment! Smash you to pieces!
understood my use of the Naga to obtain the echo of the Guardian. It was a necessary tactic to secure the cathedral.
I sealed each
Let
level
nothing
of this
stop
Can we go get some
so that no
Warforged
one
gloves in
would
here
descend to its depths. I
to
never
replace my
anticipated
normal raid finder ones?
find another way to breach its dark heart. My protective wards now bar your way. Each seal can only be opened with one of the pillars of creation. Be warned, the demons will stop at nothing to prevent your plans. I sense one of the Legion's masters working to reanimate the LFR of Sargeras. Should Kil'jaeden infuse that husk with the Dark Titan's power, do not know whether any force on this world can stop it.
Then we have no time to lose. Heroes, the paths are open.
These
Use the pillars of creation
bring the
to bypass
Tidestone
Aegwyn's
to
wards
us,
before the
just as
Legion
our
claims the
blessed
Avatar.
queen foresaw. Slay the intruders. Take back what is ours. Weaklings, you dare disappoint our queen?
Oh, hey. I actually did. That's
Useless
awesome.
beast.
Wait, what are normal
While
Wraith
the
Hunter
queen
gloves in
was
here?
fond of him, I'll never
Wait, I haven't
know.
equipped on it. Oh. Never mind, they're still 85, but at least I have a socket now. I got so excited. I hope I have some luck in Heroic this week. We had Bank Gloves drop last week, but there's still people that need 4-piece, so... They obviously got them first, which makes sense. What even is the next boss in here? Oh, Mistress. Wait. Oh yeah, this does get us down there. Need it. Pretty sure socket is worth about 5 item levels, so just stick with that. Maybe it was maybe it's the first socket that was worth 5 item levels. I don't know. Dang, everybody in the raid needs that ring.
The Tide Stone will be ours!
Alright, that's everything.
It washes clean the darkness that scars our world.
I've got your back, Archdruid.
Okay, let's finish this emissary box.
These demons are even more persistent than the wretched Naga. We must drive
Oh,
them
this
back.
is
My Night Watchers will aid you.
Check out these claws.
Where's my track? Oh, at least it's counting this. It's the main thing.
That should teach them not to tangle with the Night Watchers.
Just an 860. Oh, I didn't realize World Quest loot was default 860 now. I left it as 850 when I send all the trinkets for Tomb of Sargeras. I suppose it's probably close enough.
Can I assist you? That is what you want.
Make sure I don't have any other random low item over gear sitting around. Okay. Oh, there was a vendor in there, I guess not.
Many deals for a friend of the Grumbles, like you. Many farewell.
Okay, let's go turn in my quests here. And then I'll do Pet Battle Dungeons. I almost forgot about him again, but we have to get him done. At least a few more times. Or probably, I think we need one pet from Wailing Caverns, and then a couple from Dead Mines, but even after that I'll probably keep doing them just for different pet supplies. Oh wait, did I turn this in on Broken Shoulder? Where did I turn this in at? Sargeras. Okay, let me look this up. Who the tormented? Yeah. I legitimately don't know where to turn this in at. I guess I'll go check out here. I mean, where else would I turn it in? Stop changing my map. I don't know what. Maybe it's bugged. Was I supposed to turn it in at the Desolate Host? That would suck.
Thou Murlocs? Is there any race the Legion won't corrupt? Take care of this, would you?
Oh, here we go. Good. Alright, come on, Tear Gloves. Ooh, a relic. Ooh, a 920 relic. That's also acceptable. It's a wild growth mana cost, but it's not terrible. Pretty sure it's going to be better than the 1% all heals. Although 1% to healing sounds better. I suppose I also gain item levels on the weapon. Oh, Relic's always so complicated. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gaining one again. 5 animals, yeah. Nah, not equip it. Over this one. Alright. 938. Alright, Pepper Albums. I'll save time walkings for my backup activity tomorrow in case the PGR isn't up.
What brings you here?
If I can get through both of these in about half an hour. Did I ever change? The second Angel Thousand I did. Oh, that's right, I just put this up and then spam bite. I think that's what I changed. I didn't change pets.
I've been expecting.
It's always nice when I just get one of each. Don't worry about any of my pets get killed. I heard it's losing enough health where they get killed early. I suppose I jinxed it now. Guys, know who's gonna die? No. Good. My slime do as much work as possible there. Since we got two of them to fight. Alright, let's not zone out and mess this up this time. I have to start over. turn 32. That's gonna come up short, so I'm gonna do this first. Oh, that didn't want. Oh, I'm using the health one. I never switched back after last week. Oh well. This will be fine. That's scared for a second. I thought they buffed the snakes or something. Oh, I see blocking that consumable charges. Never noticed that before. I guess it works out. It saves some health on the iron style anyway. Just keep using the health one, seems to be working out fine. I'd completely forgotten about this comment about macros on the site. I'm doing a little searching on the side while we fight pets here. Oh, my Zeppelin died. We should be able to use the Starlet if we have to use the mechanical. Should have plenty of health left since we just switched to it. Alright, so I'm gonna try out, instead of switching to the Thalcosaur and swarming, I'm gonna spam bites from the Zandalari. Actually, we'll refresh it now and then. I think this is what I did last time. Yeah, that worked out way better than the other way.
You wish to speak?
Alright, let's see if we get the pet we're missing. We did. Nice. I believe that's the last one. Really? Oh. Wait. I thought there was more than that. Oh wait, no, I need to search for... Was it damp supply or something? Yeah, that was the last one. Okay. Cool. I guess there's other breeds, but like I said, I'll keep doing it for the chance at pet supplies and stuff. Alright, back to Dalaran and then off to Dead Mines.
Can I help you? See you later. You need something? For the Alliance.
Alright, that fight goes a little smoother when we pick the right team from the list. I just forget I can use this thing up here. Second week in a row, I stunned him. He's low enough for this, right? He takes 60%, yeah. Oh, right, I always forget I don't get to switch pets while he's recovering. Okay. There you go, I guess that's good then. Oh no! This was one of the early ones. Oh god, I thought it got me again. Hey Vagrant, I'm doing alright. How are you doing? What are you in trouble for? Yeah, compared to the other healers in my raid and heroic, my HPS is a little bit low as well. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I think it's just the usual, like, having too many healers. Like, we've been running 4 usually. Yeah, I think Ask Mr. Robot. I think it's getting better with trinkets, but it can still have some trouble with them. Yeah, I think that's still probably because of the way the simulation works. Like, I'm almost certain the belt, like, doesn't get counted as having overhealing ever. And if that was actually how it worked in the real world, then the belt would probably be best, because 200% on a Life Bloom is huge. Yeah, but as for trinkets, I know even among humans there seems to be some, you know, some people really like the Chalice, some people really like the Sea Star. Yeah, I got the belt, I don't know, maybe a week or 2 ago. And I tried it out in Mythic Pluses, and even in there it wasn't doing as much healing. Yeah, that was my thought. I guess I was with a tank that was pretty good at keeping himself up, so that could have been part of the problem. I just use shoulders and trinket. Sometimes I'll use Predaz, like for... Oh god, I can't think of the affix right now. Not bursting. Grievous. Sometimes I'll use Perdaz for Grievous, but otherwise it's Shoulders and Trinket. It's not so much that I think those are necessarily the best, it's just that gives me like the healing experience that I'm used to. What's the fighter chow? I can't think of what that is. I can look it up really quick. Oh, right. Yeah, the out-of-combat regen. That's actually an interesting... I never even thought about that.
Greetings. Be careful. What can I do for you?
So you need 3 more of those tokens. You'll have to remember that next time. Hopefully, I just keep getting into guild groups and not have to pug mythic pluses. And yeah, sure, you can ask about trinkets.
I am nature's rage!
Light be with you. Be careful.
Okay, I'll wait for the last one. So I would probably say... I would say the C-Star, probably in most cases, especially if you're doing progression content where you're using wild growth a lot. If you find that you're not using wild growth as much, I would probably say the map. Let me look at... I'm looking for loot. Yeah, the Deceiver's Grand Design is one that I'm interested in trying out, but I think just the fact that its mastery drops it down a little bit. And I mean, you're probably going to put the healing effect on a tank, so then that comes back to the issue of whether or not your tanks need healing. I was talking with my brother about this trinket, He said he was saying something, you really only want one in the raid, and I don't recall why. I'm assuming they stack. Maybe the proc effect for falling below 35% health doesn't stack. But yeah, I would say C-Star. And if it seems like you're not using Wild Growth that much, then probably Etreus's map. Or if you're like on a farm night or something, I would mess around with the Deceiver's Trinket.
The Magistrix thugs are impeding Delene's efforts to distribute Arkwine. Find her in the canals and protect her as she feeds our people.
Let me look at my spreadsheet really quick, see where the 860 Cannon Crystal falls. Stop myself from flying into a mountain. Let's see, where is the Arcana Crystal? Yeah, the Arcana Crystal might be okay for Mythic Plus. But it's quite a bit lower. Quite a bit lower even than the map. At least for like rating sims. And I'm kind of starting to favor trinkets with static int more so than static secondary stats, just because the secondary stats are getting so high just on gear. Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't have Sims for Mythic Pluses, as Mr. Robot hasn't rolled them out for 7.25 yet. So it's hard to say for sure, but I would still go with static int.
The children of Mimaram have crafted a
But I mean, the Arcana Crystal is probably, even at 860, is pretty close to the map. So if you like the Arcana Crystal more, then I don't think there's anything wrong with using it. Oh wait, I need to be in High Mountain, not so.
Greymane's forces hold this Warden Tower. Break their ranks. Show no mercy.
I wouldn't bother using tier 20 until you have 4-piece, and I wouldn't say it's worth losing very many item levels to use tier 20 over tier 19. Like the 2-piece tier 20 is not near good enough to lose the 4-piece tier 19 for. I didn't kill the boss up there, did I? I don't know why my world quests aren't tracking. Are they... Yeah, I don't know, that's tricky. Like, how much higher would you say they are? Like, if you're losing maybe 5 item levels on a couple slots, I would say it's probably worth it. But if you're losing, you know, like 10 or 15 item levels on a couple slots, or if you're losing like 5 item levels on every slot, I would probably wait. Yeah, if you're gonna lose that many item levels, I would definitely wait. Oops, I don't know where I'm going. Not having my world quest tracking thing show up is throwing me off. Yeah, I would honestly stick with the higher item level stuff. Like the tier 19 bonuses are still really good. And honestly, having used the tier 20 bonuses for a couple weeks now, they don't change your playstyle a lot, but to use it efficiently, it's a lot of getting used to. If I could go into Nighthold and roll some 950 tier 19, I would definitely use that instead. Or 945, whatever the cap is now. Yeah, the way I think of it, I still pretty much use Wild Growth the same, but I think of Swiftmen now as like a small cooldown. Like I've been running it with Prosperity, so I will use, like anytime I get 2 stacks from Prosperity, like I'll just use one, and I'll always keep one at the ready to use when there's group damage going out. And it seems to be working out pretty well. Efflorescence is usually my top heal now. There are some fights where it can feel pretty clunky. Like fights where the boss is moving a lot. I have to keep putting Efflorescence down. Actually, that reminds me, I need to edit my Efflorescence weak aura a little bit to make it show up when there's like a couple seconds left on it so I can refresh it early. Oops, that's not the button that I wanted. Oh, I can't click it off. Okay, I guess you're sleeping. Yeah, it's possible that Cenarian Ward is still better. I just figured I'd get some logs with Prosperity. Yeah, that's usually how it works out. I always use Cenarian Ward pretty frequently. I keep hitting 4 instead of 3. But yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of enjoying the difference in playstyle. Been doing kind of the same thing for a while now.
The Drumbar are assaulting Thunder Totem, and too many of my forces have been drawn off to engage with the Legion. Can you assist us, champion? This was a costly lesson in not overextending my forces. I appreciate your help, champion.
I have just the thing for you. Look to the skies.
I've seen people say anywhere from 3 to 5 item levels. If I had to guess, I would say if you're putting the int gem in, it's probably 5 item levels. If it's just, you know, haste crit mastery gem, closer to 3 item levels.
I have many lucky dues you like.
That's not something I've really researched or done any work with myself, but that's the stuff that I've seen around when I read. The 3 item level thing becomes a little tricky since stuff increases by 5s, but
Do you feel a change in the wind?
is that all the random junk? Oh, here's some more.
The deep places of the earth.
Need help? Light flesh.
Yeah, I would say so. I think the leech is going to be a lot better than 150 secondary stat. Assuming you don't already have a ton of leech. Yeah, I would go with the leech then, especially along with the item level gain. Yeah, I'm trying out the plan of always going with the highest item level. This tier, like last tier, you know, I tried to keep a balance of stats and that worked fine, so now I'm seeing how always going with the highest item level gain goes, so by the time Tomb of Sargeras is done, we'll see if that works out. Like right now my secondary stats are actually not as bad now. They used to be at like 14% haste and, I don't know, 29% crit or something. I forgot I got to equip my tier stuff and that helped out a little bit.
Got the best deals anywhere.
Yep, only 16% haste. That's, I think, the lowest I've been all expansion. Well, in Heroic Tomb of Sargeras, I'm not parsing very well, just because our other healers are really aggressive. I've been losing pretty consistently to a Holy Priest. The problem with my guild is all of our healers have pretty much perfect attendance, so they're always there. Besides like the first week in Heroic, I think I've been DPSing. Let me look, I haven't even looked at my logs. I guess in Heroic my best average is 73, so not too bad, but nothing like in Mythic. So what raid size does your guild usually have, and how many healers do you run? So I'm almost certain your guild is just using, you know, the max number of healers for the raid size. Because Resto Druids are always going to suffer when that's the case. That's a, yeah, that is a ton of healers. Like, my guild used 5 healers on Mythic Goroth, and I parsed 51, which is pretty low for me. But even then, like, I was keeping up with the other healers, so it's just a case of there's only so much healing to go around. Yeah, I wouldn't, yeah, 4 healers is a little better. Like, the rule of thumb is 1 healer per each group of 5. So I don't know if you're running... I mean, if your healers are all really good, then even 4 healers for 20 people can be a bit much. You could probably run 3. Let me see, I guess I can do some time offense. Does anyone in your guild post logs? It's actually interesting that another Rusted Druid is coming out on top. So it must be. I don't want to talk bad about your other healers. I don't know them, but it could just be that your other Resto Druid is also really good, and then your other healers are less good, and your Resto Druid is the one that's coming out on top. I always have a hard time judging other healers in their raid comps. I've raided with the same healers since like Wrath. And I mean, like if you're playing with healers all of equal skill level and like all of equal aggression, I think Resto Druids are gonna lose every time if there's too many of them. Yeah, I don't know. If you want to post logs, I can look at a couple of them really quick. I was about to call it a night after the Pet Battle Dungeons, but I'm happy to hang out for a little bit. Like another thing I can think of too, just offhand, is if the other Resto Druid is better. I'm trying to think how to explain it. Like better at like knowing when to pre-hot, knowing like when the other healers are using their minor cooldowns, so they can use theirs when there are no cooldowns happening. That could be another thing, since that's pretty much the bread and butter of Resto Druid healing, is knowing when to pre-hot and then knowing when to use a cooldown and all your hots are up. That's why my parses are usually really low early in a tier, because I'm learning the fights and making mental notes of when things are happening, and you know, other healers just get to press heal buttons and win. Let me think of what I can do. I guess I'm gonna do Broken Shore stuff. Still don't have the mount from that rep. Actually, while you're looking it up, I'm gonna go fill up my water really quick. Oops, my break screen didn't even go up. Oh well, I'm back anyway. And if you're having trouble finding a link, and you're okay with giving me your character name and server, I should be able to find them that way. Assuming they're public.
One of our patrols has been trapped behind the stampede. We must bring them Stormbrew to restore their spirits. But how?
Okay, no problem. I think there's a... Warcraft log should have a little... It's just like a program you download and it uploads them. It's not too hard if you've never done it before.
I got your back, Archdruid.
Prisoners are being held in this area.
What is this? Oh, this is the prison, the one in the cave. I don't know, I was trying to think, I mean, it's just one of those things, like, healing is tough when you have a raid leader who is really into meters. Because if you're still killing the boss fine, like, well, I mean, some healer has to be last. Like, that's just the way it works. And it sucks to be last. Like believe me, I hate I hate not being the top healer, even though it's mostly irrelevant. Like getting stomped by a holy priest, even though it's my brother, is really frustrating. Oh, okay. But I mean, are you stuck? Like, are you stuck because of healing, or are you stuck like managing damage between the two? You know, between the main and fallen avatar? Yeah, fallen avatar definitely seems like a stuck because of DPS boss. There's really not a ton. I guess the last phase gets pretty healing intensive, but if you push the fallen avatar right upstairs, then he has almost no health left once you get down. Yeah, fallen avatar is a particularly bad one for resto druids. The damage is kind of few and far between and very spiky until you get downstairs. Yep, the heroic raid scale. I believe it's fluid scaling, so like if you go from 10 to 11 people, like all the damage, all the abilities do scales up a little bit, and if you go 11 to 12, it scales a little more. And then if you have things like, the one thing that comes to mind are Armageddons on Killed Jane. Like if you go from, I think it's 13 to 14 people, like you'll go from 4 Armageddons to 5. So sometimes there's kind of annoying breakpoints where like some guilds will like only take 13, because that's the minimum number, or the maximum number of players you can have for the smallest amount of a mechanic. Yeah, we did that when we killed Jane. We turned it down to 13 people, which is kind of unfortunate.
Is there any race the Legion won't corrupt?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard for healers. I think Like, if your raid leader is wanting to sit you for not pulling your weight, I mean, I would try talking either with him or the other healers and see, you know, if they'd give you a chance in the smaller raid with less healers. I really think that's probably the bulk of the issue, although it's still unusual that another Rested Druid is top.
I confess a certain fondness for the Murlocs. The fell variety, however, not so much.
We need a victim, a volunteer, to go through a portal and thin the ranks of demons on the other side. Talk to Ted. He can provide a loner demon to get you started.
Yeah, that's a lot of raid teams. I'm just trying to think. I mean, there's like the usual Druid things of like making sure you have high uptime on your life bloom, high uptime on your efflorescence, but I imagine if you've gone so far as to be looking at gear, then you probably already fixed that stuff. Does your raid, do they give out like healing cooldown assignments? Or is it just kind of a free-for-all? That could be another thing too, like if you're overlapping Tranquility with someone else.
Grandmaster, I've got your back.
So on the fights that there aren't assignments, do you tend to still use your Tranquility? Or do you sometimes go the whole fight without using it? That might be a big difference between you and the other Druid.
Yes. Not so fun to be on the receiving end, is it? Legion scum.
Like if you're looking to, you know, like quote-unquote win meters, you pretty much have to use Tranquility at least once at some point, even if it's not, you know, like critical damage. Like I know on Avatar I assign cooldowns for the Ruptured Realities. That way, you know, all our healers have an assigned chance to use the cooldown, so everybody, you know, they're not all trying to overlap on the first one or something. Yeah. Yeah, that's something to look at. I mean, like anytime you notice, like, if you are lower than the other Druid, look to see, like, he might have used his Tranquility at a better time as well. It's kind of unfortunate that it comes down to that, but that's the reason I don't know, I try to have a more realistic stance for healing performance. Right, that's the correct way to play it. But unfortunately, if you have people who are only looking at the meters, then you might have to heal Scum with Trank a little bit to boost yourself, especially if the other healers are using their cooldowns on the same fight. I used to raid with a Mistweaver monk who had, I think it was the legendary bracers that monks have that like reduced the cooldown of the revival every time they use another spell. And he would revival just all the time on cooldown. I could watch. I have my little like raid cooldown meters here, and every time his came off cooldown, like as soon as the raid took a little bit of damage, he'd pop it every single time. And I mean, he won meters without fail, but you know, at the end of the day, you want to kill bosses, not necessarily win meters. Yeah, I'd definitely look in, like, try, like, the way I do it is I heal every fight like it's a mythic fight. So I mean, I haven't looked at my logs specifically, but I'm sure I mean, in normal and heroic I probably have like 70-80% overhealing. But it kind of gets, I don't know, gets you in that mode of like, okay, you know, when I go up a difficulty, this ability is going to be doing a lot more damage. So now I know, you know, that I have like Felons ready, or I have Essence of Gunir ready, and that sort of thing. Or in the case of tier 20, you know that it's a good time, you know, to pop Swiftmen to buff your Efflorescence and stuff like that. And then of course you have to balance that, you know, keeping yourself from going And if you can find some logs or upload some, I'd be happy to take a look. That'll give me quite a bit more information, like comparing what you're doing versus the other Rusted Druid.
The Naga pose a persistent threat to our efforts. We've subdued one of their brutes to use against them. Ride it into battle against the Naga.
Because it's mostly like it got, so in 7.25, or it might have been when Tomb of Sargeras got released, you could upgrade it to 900 item level. So, you know, just by being 900 item level, that made it better than most people's trinkets. And And yeah, it's incredibly good for mana regen, even with the slight nerf they made to it. After they realized it was way too good at 900 item level, they changed it so... Let's see, I think I have it in my bags here. Yeah, they changed it so the low end, the 770 reduced cost, like, never goes up when you upgrade the item level, but the top end, like the 3079, goes up every time you upgrade the item level. And yeah, it's easily the top regen trinket. I use it on, I would say, at least 75% of progression fights. So that could be another thing too, if you feel like you're running out of mana.
Well done. Turning the might of those big bruisers against their own was a smashing idea.
Yeah, I think if you're paging through logs now, I think most logs will have the Dark Moon deck in there, just because people are doing progression, and then it kind of slowly falls out of favor. You know, as DPS gets better and the fights are shorter, you know, and that when people can use their throughput trinkets a little more comfortably. I mean, that's... So the way... So when I'm approaching like a new progression fight, I'll start with like 2 throughput trinkets, so like Velen's, and in your case the Sea Star. And, you know, maybe for the first dozen to 2 dozen pulls, depending on the difficulty of the boss, like I'll probably be going early. So then, like, I'll try to make changes to not be you know, before the end of the fight. And if I just can't seem to make it through the end of the fight without going then I'll switch to the Promises deck. But if you can make it through the end of the fight without going it's definitely better to use 2 throughput trinkets. But I think in general, compared specifically to the Sea Star, I think you'd be okay using a 900 Dark Moon Promises over it, just in general. Yeah, I haven't done the math recently, like with the upgrade to 900, but like towards the beginning of Legion, I did the math on the trinket, and depending on how your procs go, it's like 2 to 3 extra mana potions during a fight. And I mean, now that's 900 item level, that's probably even more. Yeah, yep. Yeah, the Dark Moon deck, it's gonna be even more prevalent now. Like I said, because it's just about what you use on every progression fight, especially really difficult progression fights, and that's pretty much what everybody's doing right now. It gives a little bit of wiggle room without, you know, to like make mistakes as far as, you know, healing too much at one point. You didn't need to, and then not being room later on.
We need everyone on the front line. Another wave of demons is incoming.
But again, I guess that's only if you're like seriously going by the end of the fight. Otherwise, like, there's no point in having extra mana. You know, if you're ending the fight at 15-25% mana, then I mean, the trinket didn't technically do anything for you as far as regen. Oh, these hurt a lot. I remember these hurting so much. I mean, I guess the flip side of that is if you're trying to like beat other healers, in a really aggressive healing environment, it would let you use more spells during the fight. So I guess that could be something as well. Yeah, I would definitely look in to the Dark Moon deck then. I mean, assuming Blizzard continues to upgrade the Obliterum level, it's gonna stay relevant for the rest of the expansion, so... the prices on it are probably a little high right now. Just, I mean, considering how good it got, with them letting it go up to 900. But I think it's a solid investment. I think when I bought mine early in Legion, I spent like 150,000 on it. And it's gotten me through many progression fights. Okay, that would be nice too. I have no idea what the mats cost, but probably cheaper than the auction house. I guess it depends on your server too. Do you mean tier 19 bonuses or tier 20?
Can hold the line from here.
Okay, I would say always keep the tier 19 bonuses until you have a higher item level tier 20. I mean, like, there's always going to be exceptions to that. But, I mean, like, the 4-piece tier 19 is just really good. And I mean, I think it's still really good even with how the bosses work in Tomb of Sargeras, so... I tried to... a while ago, I tried to come up with a way to, like, definitively... calculate how many item levels the tier set bonuses are worth, and I just haven't come up with a way that makes sense yet. So it's kind of a little... based on theory, but... I think if you keep them until you get tier 20, you'll do alright. I guess, like, if you somehow get, like 920, 930 in all of your tier 19 slots, then maybe it'd be worth replacing, but even then I would think about it. Let's see what I want here. Yeah, I kind of want follow equipment. See if I can get the really good bonus one. Yeah, I started Tomb of Sargeras with, I think, 3 just heroic Knighthold tier pieces. So, I mean, those are pretty easy to replace going through heroic Tomb. I mean, I'm even rocking. What am I looking for? There we go. Let's use the hotkey. I'm using like some Raid Finder tier gloves because it let me use a better cloak, which overall gave me 5 item levels. So, I mean, that's kind of the strategy I'm going with. This tier is highest overall item level. Otherwise, I think if the glove and the cloak didn't work out, I would probably still be wearing tier 19. Until I got, like, heroic level gloves. Yeah, it can get pretty tricky. I'm still reasonably confident in saying it's not your gear. I mean, trinkets are usually fairly big, but I mean, it sounds like if you pick any of the ones that you have, you'll be in an okay spot. I think it's the environment you're healing in. But of course, if you have a raid leader and a healing leader that don't that don't realize that or don't accept that, I definitely understand the frustration of trying to find what the problem is.
A gigantic beast has risen from the waters. Send it back to the depths.
Yeah, definitely see what they say. My world this thing is broken to reload here. Get see what they say. I guess I've said it a bunch of times already, but if you can get a log from like a whole night of raiding, like the more bosses, the better. I'm more than happy to look at it. I can't guarantee I'll tell you anything different than I've already told you, but I might find something, especially comparing to the other druid. Well, Ask Mr. Robot doesn't do logs anymore, so you'd have to download. Let me see. I can probably get you a link to the page. It's a program from Warcraft Logs. Let me see. Let me take this guy first. Alright, here you go. I'll send you to this page. You're the best one. So if you go there, and then there's a section uploading logs. And it doesn't really mention it there, but if you go like to your World of Warcraft folder, there should be a logs folder in there, and one of them is called like WoW Combat Log. And if the file size of it is really big, you'll probably want to delete it first. The Warcraft Logs program only accepts files that are so big. So if you have like, you know, months or years worth of logs in there, it'll be way too big.
Well done. We can rest easy.
I've got your back, Archdruid.
And then as far as like turning on the combat logging in game, I used to use a program called Autolog. But last time I checked, it hadn't been updated for Juma Sargeras, so now you just type, I think it's /combat log in chat, and it'll should get a little message like combat logging started. So just do that before the raid, and then you type it again to turn it off when the raid's over. Oh, that's right. You already told me I've asked Mr. Robot. That might actually be updated for working with Juma Sargeras. Okay. Let me see what we have. Okay, so you were working on. We'll look at Fallen Avatar since you were working on that one. Oh, this might not be. I don't think you're in on these ones that we. When was the last time? Oh, okay, that's fine. I can look at a different one. Okay, let me move it. I'll move it to my other monitor so I can see what you're saying. Let's see here. See, main would probably be a good one. Oh, except you died at this one. Okay, we won't look at this one. So how many people are in your raid here? 2. $28 with 6 healers. I guess 28 with 6 healers isn't too bad, but that's still a lot. Sometimes Warcraft logs drives me crazy. I'm trying to open up. You're healing and the other druid's healing, so I'm leaving them side by side. Doesn't want me to do that. Do you remember what realm you were in on Desolate Host? By any chance? I'm not sure how to tell in the logs, actually. Just want to make sure I'm comparing the most similar things as I can. Okay, that's okay. Okay, got it. Here, I have a better idea. I'll just look at Sisters of the Moon. That way everything is the same. So is Omnom the other druid that's usually in there? I noticed there's another Rusted druid as well. Okay, I'll compare to them instead. I just want to make sure I'm comparing the right one. Or the druid you have in mind, anyway. Okay. That's interesting. So, on Sisters of the Moon, they're using Abundance, which gives them quite a large ability to like snipe heals, so to speak. They're also using Renewal, which is the possibility of even more healing. There are also 8 item levels ahead of you, which isn't a ton, but it's not insignificant either. Oh, never mind, this might actually be... Oh, never mind, the item levels are correct. I think. So it looks like both of your life bloom up times are about 40%. So I mean, I guess one way you could potentially edge them out is having better uptime on it. That's more possible healing, and it'll give you more free regrowth procs in the long run. Like I usually aim... Actually, I haven't looked at my uptime in a while, so it might be also not very great, but I aim for like 90% and above is great, and like 75 to 90% is good. Just to give you an idea. So then like on Sisters of the Moon, they use Tranquility twice. You used it once, which, I mean, that just might be if you were assigned to do that, then there's nothing you can do about that. But, I mean, that is... So their Trank did almost twice as much healing as yours over the course of the fight, which is pretty huge. And I guess so then as far as Velen's, like they use theirs 4 times, you use yours twice. Although, yeah, it did, I mean, 6 million more healing. Let me see if I can find Essence of Gunir out here somewhere. Oh, and I'm not trying to be rude by saying this stuff either, I'm just kind of saying what I see as I see it. And then, like, they used Essence of Gunir 4 times to your 2 times, so... I think finding... Yeah, it's not so much using your cooldowns on cooldown, it's more finding... like regular intervals to use them at. Yeah, yep, like you said. I would figure out the best time to use them. I'm trying to think of what happens on Sisters of the Moon. The heck is it called? It's like Embrace of the Moon or something, where everybody gets a healing absorb. That's a great time for minor cooldowns. Can't think of what else happens on that fight. Yeah, I would say definitely try to find the best spots to use them. Can't think what else I can check. Oh yeah, and your what's that ring called? Yeah, if you can get another use or 2 of the Nod Thumb Ring in. Oh, okay, yeah, then it might not be the best spot for minor cooldowns then. What's that beam called? The beam you have to soak, that's another good spot for them. On Sisters of the Moon anyway. Okay, yeah, that might not be a bad plan. It just depends on what the damage looks like. Yeah, I would say if you're finding it hard to find times to use the Nod Thumb Ring, like I think you had 1 use on Sisters of the Moon, I would trade it out for a higher item level ring. Like, the use effect is pretty good, but, I mean, even if you're finding time to use it and it doesn't feel like it's, you know, like if it's contributing to overhealing. I would say probably not good. I think Trank is pretty strong on its own. I macroed mine with my Essence of Ganir. Yeah, they line up with cooldown time, but I think I don't know. It's tricky, I guess. Without seeing, I guess on like Sisters of the Moon it might be good because it gives extra boost to getting through the shields. No, sorry, I macroed the ring with Essence, the non-thumb ring. Let me switch back to rest of here. Is the non-thumb ring really 3 minutes? I thought it was 2. Did they change that? Oh no, never mind. That's right. Yeah, because then you get the ring with every other Essence of Ganir. That's right. That's why I put it in there. So I don't think putting it with Trank is a terrible thing. It might be contributing more to overhealing versus either using it on its own or using it with a lesser cooldown. That's just my opinion, though. Trying to think about how they say name Kilawe? Is that how they pronounce it? Trying to think of how them using, because like their healing touch is 8% of their healing, which is pretty significant, and that's coming from them using abundance, and that gives them way more like heal sniping power in like overhealing situations where you have too many healers, but at the same time I don't think it's optimal for Resto Druids as far as like actual max healing output. Yeah, was it you who was in here? I don't know, a couple days ago, and said that the other druid in their raid was using abundance, and that the only way they were able to beat him is by also using abundance. And I don't know, I just thought that was kind of funny. I guess it must not have been you. But yeah, someone else is also apparently having issues versus an abundance druid. I'm really hesitant to recommend that you also try abundance, but I think if you can work on finding good spots to use your minor cooldowns, I think you'll be in a much better spot on the healing meters in this raid, and you'll also be like better as a Resto Druid overall. So it's like the bread and butter of the Resto Druid playstyle. But if it does come down to it, and your raid setup and your healing setup just works better with abundance, there's nothing wrong with it. I've had people come and ask, hey, I really like using abundance, like, am I bad? And it's like, no, they're not bad. Like, if that's how you like to heal and bosses are dying and you're happy and your raid's happy, then there's nothing wrong with it. Yep, no problem. I'm always happy to help. Yeah, I guess, yeah, just to recap, I would try to pay better attention. Like on Sisters of the Moon, you could have fit Trank in somewhere again at the end. Like just looking at the little timeline here, it would have been off cooldown. There might not be a good spot, but it'll be more healing on the meter, which looks like what the other druid is doing. And then just same thing for minor cooldowns. Try to get more beneficial uses during every fight. And I guess higher uptime on Life Bloom, but I mean that's sort of a minor thing in the grand scheme of things. As far as winning meters and all that. Also possibly more uptime on Efflorescence. Oh wait. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at Overhealing. They don't have uptime on Efflorescence, so forget what I said. Yeah, but I mean, hopefully that helps. I hope you, if not win meters, I hope you win enough to get upgraded to the next group. And then just to give you another tool to compare things. So I'm using... Oh, that link didn't work, because it has a comma in it. But if you copy that whole thing, including the spot that didn't link, that's like a side-by-side comparison of you and the other druid. So, for Sisters of the Moon anyway. Well, that was one thing I was going to look at, is your... Yeah, I guess Cenarian Ward for you is healing much less than their Abundance. I guess that would be like the comparison to make, since their talents on the same tier. Yep, I don't know. I'd work on all that. I wouldn't fret too much about your gear. I guess I didn't look. I should have looked at your gear more closely when I had that open. But I think your gear is probably fine. But if you're good for now, I'm probably gonna head out for the night. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be doing PTR stuff tomorrow, but I'll be around if you have more questions or anything. Yep, you're welcome, and thank you for stopping by again. Have a good night.